Okay. So if we look at your OPGG, we'll see that you tend to play the same champions, which is great. Super important to do that. This is good here, almost a 60% win rate on your main champion, but this is kind of low. All of your KDAs actually across the board are pretty low, and about the same.
Yeah.
So,
How's
so that
yeah.
means that you might be inconsistent, or you might die more than you might necessarily have to. So just maybe consider looking at your positioning, um, and then if we look at your CS numbers, if we scroll down, it seems like you're getting like
Not enough.
6, but still, it dips into 4 and 5s. It seems one way or the other, basically. So you may want to try to CS more, which it comes in respecting pressure, wave management, all that kind of stuff. Look at your keystones, all look good. Barrier, Syndra, Arlene Soul. Looks like you default to barrier.
Yeah, I definitely am not as good with the other ones.
Okay, so maybe just try diversifying your summoner spells because barrier is
Like
definitely
I
not the
take
right choice.
cleanse into games where I probably should, but definitely not as efficient with it
Gotcha.
as using barrier to take people off guard.
Okay. Your item build looks like you're switching it, or at least not, following a stock build, which is nice. Again, I'm not comparing exactly the game, but I'm seeing you're building defensive boots, which is awesome. Overall, things look okay at a quick glance. But from what I got out of this is it's good that you're sticking to your same champions, but you probably need more work in CSing and positioning. So wave management, positioning. If we look at
Okay.
your enemy mid laner, gold 2, so around your same elo, but an AD carry main. So this person doesn't actually play mid lane as much as he does other lanes. So you should probably be winning lane. But we'll see what happens. So if we look here at Rift Kit, we have. Scroll down, get the comps. Carthage
Yeah,
jungle.
actually, yeah.
Okay. So, Gragas, Karthus, Orianna. Look at the other two.
I think it's relevant to note on my OPGG that I tanked a bunch of LP for like the first time 2 days ago when I picked up TF. Pretty much started playing him and didn't have too much success, but
Sounds about
it
normal.
has has brought down my win ratio and stuff like by a few percent, like at least 3%.
Yeah, that hurts. Yasuo, Zac, Syndra. And Leona and Zaya. So if we look at priorities, Syndra has priority, Zac has priority. This is even. And bottom lane is like even but favored towards your side. So what does this mean? You need to look to protect these guys. So you should have an early ward here or an early ward here. Your top lane is going to be harder for me to die than your bottom lane is, especially because this is pretty all in. If you look at their bottom lane, you should be pushed in a mid lane, but you need to secure vision. Their jungler is significantly stronger than yours, so ideally you'd cover this with a yellow ward, and then somewhere over here with a pink ward. That way this one is permanent, whereas the other one over here is temporary that you just continually refresh. You have triple AP, so you need an early void staff. They have they have 2 tanks, so Leandri's is pretty good. Unless you're snowballing really hard, Luden's is pretty bad. So you don't want
Leandri's
Luden's.
is what?
Pretty good, I said.
Okay.
Because they have 2 tanks, and you'll get the flat pen. Um,
Yeah, I almost never build Ludens.
they have AD, AP, AP, 80 AP. So they have like 2.5 APs and CC, 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 CC. So Merc Treads are pretty good this game. He's probably gonna Merc Treads. So without seeing how the game build like goes out, your build should probably be like Morello's into guys to staff with Merc Treads in here. And this is 4 items, so then you're going to need a Rabadon's as your 5th item. And then 6th item should be a variable. So maybe like Zonia's, Ludens if you need more max AP. That's what your build basically should probably look like. So this is all the stuff that I just, would do in Champ Select. And this is stuff that you should just start thinking about in Champ Select. So if we start the game, we will see. You start Q. You can start Q or you can start E. Depends on what you're trying to do. Both are fine.
My plan here was to push her in before I get pushed in.
Okay. Oh, and could you remind me, what is the thing you want to learn from this? The biggest thing?
The biggest thing in regards to what?
Just what you want to learn.
Oh, definitely late game macro, because we lose this in late game for sure, or close to, and then
You said playing in behind, right?
getting CS. Like I noticed that later in my game when I rewatched this game that I started getting very little CS towards the last like 15 minutes, and it was because I felt that I was giving up important Waveclear and presence to defend like objectives or contest objectives.
Okay.
And it felt difficult for me to go find CS, and yeah, just some way that I could do that more efficiently.
Okay. So keep those two in mind, especially. It's good you're conceding pressure. CSing with Q is awesome. You lose this matchup, so you should be on the back foot. Into losing matchup, you take E second. Awesome, good job. Looks like you're managing the wave fine. You actually won on that trade. So it's really greedy for you to keep going on the trade, I think. Once you win the trade, you should just be happy with it because you're already in a losing matchup. So any advantage you can take are better than sacrificing some advantages.
Okay.
Cool, you warded 3 minutes. A little earlier might have been better, but I don't think you really had a ward time, so I think that ward is fine. CSing with E is cool. Trade after. Okay. So if we look at this, you know how lane mechanics work, right? How you have to
Yeah. I wasn't playing on my warded side.
Yeah, exactly. And how you like tier, right? So if you go here, she goes here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so if she's like that's just how lane mechanics work. Like that is it because you're keeping distance. And if she's walking like this, that means that she's either safe here, but you have that warded, so you know she's not safe here, or she's trying to force you on this line. And it's the latter because you know that you're safe because you have your ward. So
Yeah,
that
I
means
think I
you
made
be,
a mistake in that earlier at like that earlier trade I made. This player made like a mistake in moving up to try to like become aggressive on me, and yeah, so that's what I thought it was, but was clearly wrong.
Yeah, so just respect early. Like Zac isn't an early ganking jungler, but Syndra's an early game champion with a stun, right? And that enables a not early game ganking jungler pretty well. So if you divide this into quadrants, this is what the lane looks like. You don't want to be here. That's stupid. You're not here because that's also stupid. So now you have basically 2 quadrants, and you can divide this into even 2 more. And they're very different, and they may not seem different, but they're very different. This quadrant we'll call 1, we'll call this 2, we'll call this 3, we'll call this 4. Being in quadrant 4 doesn't make sense, for obvious reasons. So where should you be? Well, being in quadrant 3 also doesn't really make sense.
Back of 2, probably.
So yeah, you're probably going to be sitting in this area, somewhere in here. Because even though you're off that lane like teeter, like this, you're off that. You're on your protected ward side, and you know it's protected, and you're closer to jungler. So being on the other side is just more important. And the reason why each zone is so different and important is because if you're looking from 1 to 4, right, that's a huge distance. If you're looking from 1 to 2, it's not a huge distance. But it is. Because 2 plus 3 plus 4, right? You see like, if you're here, let me actually erase so that way you can see this very clearly. Because these micro steps, like, they matter a lot. If you're here versus here versus here versus here, if you are right in the center, you can get here and here. If you're here, you can get here. You can't really get here. So you're limiting your options because this is dangerous, so you can't go there. So you can't get closer this way, like I just said. And yeah. And now if you're in the center, again, you're closer to this quadrant. Right here. Which 3.
Yeah.
So again, like 1 to 4, it's like a big distance. 2 to 3, it's not a big distance, but it makes a big difference. So yeah. Do you have any questions on that?
No. I'm
Okay,
just
cool.
writing it down the quadrants really quick.
Yeah. I mean, those were arbitrary numbers. It's not like...
Yeah, but the spacing in the lane remains the same.
Correct.
So.
And if you're positioning properly, you probably don't burn your flash there.
I'm positioning properly what?
You probably don't burn your flash there.
Yeah.
And we'll see if that has any long-term effects of you not having flash. But it should, even if it doesn't like actually result in you dying, because you not having flash pretty much puts a target on your head, especially in a lane like this, or a 2v2 combo like this, where your jungler is super weak and theirs has gank pressure, and then they have a winning mid laner. So obviously just make sure you're getting those CS that are free. I say it all the time, and you probably know what I'm going to say, but missing free, CS is okay, missing free CS is not okay. Consider using your E in the matchup more instead of looking to throw your ball out.
Like prior to going up to trade?
Yeah, because once your ball's out, you're not going to block her Q because travel times.
Air time.
Yeah. So. Sorry, 1 second. So you have no resources, you can't really do anything, so basing is the right call. Karthus pushing the wave in is fine. Doesn't really matter.
Backing is what?
Backing is fine. Am I cutting out a lot?
Only sometimes.
Okay.
It's just discrepancy with Skype or something, I don't know. Only when I have, it's because I have Skype open for some reason.
Okay, so if we look at your ward time, you place a ward right here in this bush, right? When you go to place this ward, what happens to your lane?
It's pushing towards me.
It's pushing towards you. Because she gets to hit your minions while you're gone. So, if you place that ward, Syndra gets push priority, which means this wave's gonna be like all the way over here. And if the wave's over here, then Syndra has roam priority, this way or this way. Assuming it gets into the turret, and then she can easily destroy this ward. So not that it's the wrong thing to place it at this time, just understand that placing it this time might have your ward killed. And when you're down flash, you want the highest ward uptime possible. So in this specific scenario, it's probably better to not go in ward before you go to lane, because I know the strategy go before you go to lane so that way you don't see you have a ward. But when you're down flash, it's probably better to conserve ward uptime.
True. So I should attempt to push her in first before I go to place it.
Either push her in or clear the wave first, and have the wave reset.
Okay.
That's like an in this case thing, right? Because you're vulnerable in this lane. If you're not vulnerable in the lane, like they have Ziggs and Shyvana or something, then it's like, oh, okay, well, I don't necessarily need to. You're doing overall a really good job of harassing with Qs, so that's good. You need to be careful because you bought last chapter and not any magic resist. You're
Auto
shielding
second
yourself
kill
at like
early there.
random times. Okay, one strategy right there. Like you can alter. This is an Ori
Oh
thing.
yeah, under turret.
Yeah, but like right here. Look, what happens when you alter?
She comes under turret range.
She goes here. This minion dies. She tanks turret. And yeah, you're like half health, but you have barrier, and she's under turret. So you 100% kill her, like, or she blows flash.
True.
That's like an Ori specific thing, but it's something you can take advantage of, because she does it twice. That's in range again. The first time I let it slide, but it's twice in a row, so you should probably ult this. And I guess I worded that poorly. Not let it slide, but remind you. Yeah, especially if you're gonna all in her right after. Good job waiting barrier. Good job. But that pretty much everything was good there. You have to be careful because it's all about your shield now. She has 20 health, but like. Okay, so you're down a few CS. Building manager resist. I think that's okay. I hope those goes into Merc Treads though, and not Banshees.
Yeah, they do.
Nice. Just make sure you're dodging those. Because those aren't like ones that like you need to get hit by. Those are like just random Qs basically. Cool. That's well played, just overall. You did your job, they did their job. Good job. Okay. So at this point, once you throw your ball, you have to know what you have. Or rather, before you throw your ball, you know what you have. Because your E's on cooldown, your Q's on cooldown. So once this ball is here, this is permanent. Right? Because like most fights, they last 4 seconds. So like this is like a permanent ball position. So let's throw this 2 steps this way. And now the ball's here. Do you know how much better of a ball this is? May not seem like much. Exactly. And this, like, this isn't much. Like, at all. But again, this is that same thing where it's like, oh, well, 1 to 2 isn't much distance, but 1 to 4 is much distance. Or is a lot of distance. Just to highlight it clearly, this ball's over here. This clips this entire thing, which will clip her hitbox like this. If it's over here, the circle's more like this, which obviously this hitbox does not clip it. And then further, if we look at the way things happen, right now you should be looking at alt. Not 2 alt, but like that you can alt. And if you see the way this plays out, I think there's an opportunity for you to hit 3 people.
Yeah, there is.
So right here, you move your ball back.
Yeah, I tried to E on Thresh, but I should have just gone in ulted with Q.
So one, if you Q first instead of Eing, or I think you can just E faster. Maybe not. No, okay, you E off cooldown. I misread it. But yeah, if you Q instead, you have a pretty large ult. And the second thing here is like, I don't know what this is. What is this flash?
Yeah. I thought I was gonna be able to walk out of it.
Yeah, but like...
And then I flashed back into it, yeah.
Like if you look at the line, this is the line. You're already over here and you're
I didn't realize how much it was gonna move. Oh,
yeah. But still, like, if you're walking this direction, like, just flash in that direction. Like, don't, like, walk this way, then flash the other way. Because if you see, like, this, again, this is, like, a large amount of distance right here. It may not seem like a large distance, but it is. Oh, shoot. I've had your music playing. I hope that doesn't clip me. Okay, good trade. You're winning now. So now you can look aggro, assuming you have vision on their team. Did you watch the playthrough game of Orianna that I played today?
Which one? Against Syndra? I didn't. I haven't looked through any of those videos, but I have seen them in your channel.
Okay, I'll link it to you after. I think there's a lot of good stuff to learn from there.
Yeah, there I did not want to roam, and that's why I literally messaged them the second she left lane. But they,
Nat recommends to auto attack more and waste less mana. I agree, but I think your mana management has been overall okay. I don't feel like you've been like out of mana like ridiculously. So I think it's definitely something to improve on, but I don't think it was like bad enough that I needed to like really step in and say like, yo.
all right.
But I mean that comes with like not wasting like 4 abilities, because like you just like E'd like 3 times in a row for no reason. Yeah, Nat, thanks. So you know they're topside, so you have to be really careful going this way. Also, that ward is not a very good ward. We'll talk about the ward before you get ganked, because you might die depending on how fast your thresh is. But this ward, overall, is pretty bad. Move the ward up. Like, if you can. When you can. Because this ward doesn't really do much. Because the Pixel Brush ward just does literally everything that one does, but better. So
Sure.
if you die for this
I
ward,
should have just put my yellow ward back down, or the second one.
yeah, just place one yellow ward. You don't need two.
Well, I just placed one in the other bush.
Yeah,
I didn't
but
know where
like,
Leona was,
oh,
but
we saw her topside.
she found me. Oh yeah, I knew she was topside already because I pinged her when she first walked from their raptors, but like in lane here I didn't feel safe, so I went to go ward up there to try to see where she was, but she was in our jungle.
Okay, yeah. So so let's look at this again. I forget when we see Leona.
She like goes by the pink ward
Okay,
by the red
so
buff, and I
so
ping her
yeah.
on
So
the map.
we ping her on the map here, and if we see her start walking in this direction, we should know she's in her jungle. Or even if we don't know she's in our jungle, we should assume she's in our jungle. Because lack of vision is information as well. And by lack of vision, I don't mean lack of wards on the map, I mean lack of seeing them on the map. Because if they're not bot lane, that means they're either top lane or mid lane, right? Like, that's how it works. Or they're coming to top lane or mid lane. Or you should assume they could, because they can. So if we look at the way it plays out, just watch the mini-map. Okay, so she clears the ward. So you need, right now, need to not be here. You need to be all over here instead. Because Leona could, you know, walk here, flash here, are you here, and you die. Leona could be over here, and then you're dead without even her flashing. Especially when you have no flash. You don't have cleanse.
Yeah, farming this wave was greedy.
Yeah, it's really greedy. And wait, let me clarify. Farming this wave is fine. Farming this wave here is not fine. Be over here. Now there's no way they get to you. Like, even if Leona flash ults, this isn't range for a flash ult. That's about the range. And that's where, again, these micro steps come in, right? Like, this doesn't seem like a lot of distance, but it is. So just actively think about what information you have and judge based off that. And if you're afraid of the dive, oh yeah, see, like, you even walk into her area. But let's say you're afraid of the dive, right? What do? Well, you don't walk towards her, you walk here. And ward this. Do you know why?
Yeah, I was not. No.
Okay, so if you walk here, and then you walk here. If Leona is in this bush, what is Leona going to do to you?
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. She's not gonna make a move under double turrets where Syndra can't follow up.
She's going to engage on you, maybe. If she's
Probably not.
dumb. But, like, okay, she's going to E you.
Q.
Gonna Q you, or she's gonna auto you. She's gonna Q you, she's gonna W. And she might even ult you. But
Yeah.
this is
It's
gonna
not
kill
enough
you.
to kill me though.
And Syndra can't, like, do this.
Right.
Syndra can do this. But that's way longer than you'll be stunned. So she can't do anything if you go this way, on this path. But if you go on this path, now you're boned, because Syndra can just cut on this. And then she cuts off your escape. So just think ahead in the future about what
I think
can
the
happen.
bigger issue was my awareness on watching where she went, because I saw Zac deep top lane, and I thought Leona was like diving top lane. And so, like, when I put those wards down, it wasn't because I thought Leona was nearby. It's because I thought that after that play finished top, she might come mid.
Okay. Well, still, even in that case, this ward is better. And you just have to respect the jungle now, because Leona is topside. She's either here or she's here, because you have a vision. You have vision up here. So she's anywhere in this area on the map. That's where I'm drawing.
Right.
So you just have to respect it. Because, like, let's say you wait 10 seconds. What happens in 10 seconds? Well, she either shows on the map or she's in your lane. She's not going to sit here waiting forever. And so what? You miss one CS. This wave's going to come up. It's going to take another 10 seconds. So that's 20 seconds at least before you miss minions. Or a significant chunk of minions. So think about the risk reward more, and then that would help, I think. And you are 81 at 12, or 13. Good dodge, though. Yeah, so, like, you get out, but, like, all that being said was, like, super important to talk about.
I deserve
because,
to
like,
die there.
you deserve to die.
I thought killing that pink ward there was really risky, but when Zach turned back when Thresh pulled, that's why I stayed to finish it.
Yeah, I mean, it was, but I think it's fine. Okay, so as Orianna, to turret defense, you need to place your ball out before they come here. You place your ball right here. Because your ball's here, this covers this area. And you can easily get your W, and then you can Q like this. Like, literally just, like, in place.
Yeah.
Do
But shouldn't you
damage.
wait for the majority of the minions to walk up so you can Q through the majority of them, since Q
Nope.
is most of your damage?
You just place it down before. Because you're threatening your ult. They don't know your ult's on cooldown.
Huh.
Right? Like, just because you know this doesn't mean they know this. And it's close enough to where they would think it's up. Because you can just RWQ the wave. So just place your ball here before the minions even get here. Because if it's here, then it threatens this area and this area. So Xayah can't really walk up anymore. Because see, Xayah just, like, literally just walks up to you. And she could have gotten an auto attack. And one auto attack, again, doesn't seem like much. But when your turret's at 30% health, that auto attack, that's a lot. Syndra could have gotten one as well, and then Leona couldn't have. No Fido. Man, I'm getting sick.
Dude, I am sick.
Alright, so we know where every single one of their champions is. So if you die clearing this wave because you're positioned on the wrong side of the map. Okay. No blast plant, unlucky. Should probably WM in the future. Like, in that case, it doesn't matter, but in some cases, it does matter.
I didn't want to because I thought he was dead anyway, and I have kind of low mana.
Yeah, but, like...
Uh-oh.
Okay, I'll explain. Okay. So we look at your mana. If you cast W, you would have had 270 mana at this point.
Yeah, I probably still would have had enough. I didn't look at the actual numbers when I...
You have enough for this, this, and this. 100, 200, and this. You have enough for everything, actually. But what should you do here? You should place your ball right here, right now. Throw it right here. You should Q, there. R, W, E, walk away. Yep. Because what are you going to do here?
Die.
Die. At very best, you kill the 10% held Xayah. At very best. And I see you do kill her, but you should not kill her. That's because Xayah sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because she's bad.
Okay, so like right here, you're like way far up. We know Leona's here because we saw her when you're walking this way. We saw Leona in here. Or I saw Leona in there. I don't know if you saw her, but I saw her. And you should assume Leona's either here
Yeah,
or flanking you.
I think I knew she was in that bush. I was just greedy trying to cue the wave.
Yeah, so that's that thing of pre-queuing, right? When you're here, if you put the wave ball here,
Yeah, threaten with ult
you threaten with
or
all.
just clear
Not
wave
actually,
or
you're not
something.
even threatening. You're just trying to clear, because let's say you kill this, you don't kill this. It's low. This one's low, but you kill all the casters, and this is like half health. Well, this turret doesn't die anymore, which I'm going to assume it dies because it should. I don't know if it does, but it should. Even so, like ulting the wave is still pretty greedy. Like, in all honesty, like I need, like if I don't do that pre-Q, I don't know if I'm ulting the wave because they have Zac, Leona, and Syndra. Like that's a lot of. It's a lot of pick.
Rip. No, it actually worked. They didn't try to FF again. Always bugs me when people FF in ranked.
I mean, I understand forfeiting games. I also understand not forfeiting games. So I think definitely some games are FF games. I think definitely some games are not FF games.
Yeah, those are pretty rare. It's like 1 in 50, 1 in 30.
Okay, so what do you do here?
Try to steal dragon after they take it.
Right, but like, right here, what do you do now? Nothing, because Karthus is back there. Your team's over here. Your team's over here. Like, there's no reason for you to be here. Because what if Zac just like ease over this wall?
Well, I don't think any of them can follow up with him. I thought I was pretty safe.
Syndra has a stun over the
Pitch.
wall. Leona has a gap closer and a
Right,
long
but
range ult.
they're not in the pit.
Right, but Leona's here. This is like
Right.
alt range.
Yeah, okay.
Syndra isn't there, but like, it's just greedy because like you're here for a few seconds where your team's far back. Just wait a few more seconds. Because what if they go in, and then you get insta bursted? That's an issue.
Yeah.
It may not be. It might not be likely, but it could happen.
Yeah, I
Because
guess
what what are you getting right here? You're getting nothing. Now you see if you're actively getting something right here, like okay, you're poking. Fine. You know you're getting a ward. Cool. Right, but like you just don't do anything in this area, so there's probably no reason to be here over here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And I know like you don't get punished for it here, but like you could be punished. Okay, so I'll let the fight play out, but I think you ult way too early. Oh my god. You ult way too early. I'm just looking at this like, holy. Because, like, look, if you had ult, like any of these situations. So yeah, let's go back. There's just like a super fine balance between ulting early and ulting late. But if you look at this, okay, who are you gonna hit if you ult right now?
um, just the people that engage on him, but like hopefully it's enough to stop all the damage he'll take and we can avoid this fight. As soon as I saw the TP in, I didn't think everyone on our team was there. It was just a bad fight.
Okay, so we have to look at the scenario in like an objective way. if you alt right here, this is your alt radius roughly. That's kind of small. That's kind of large, but you get the point.
Yeah.
Zach is on this side of Gragas. Leona, who is going to dash, is on this side of Gragas. So if you alt them, what does that do?
Put them close to our team.
It puts them closer to your team, which isn't inherently a problem, but it doesn't stop the fight like you're trying to do. Right? Like, it pulls them towards you guys. If we assess the situation, we know that Yasuo is teleporting right here. We know that. We saw it. And we know their Leona and their Zac are engaging. So if you just leave ball here, you E him and then you throw it down, your ball becomes such a huge threat. Because Xayah can't get to the damage. Syndra can't get to do the damage. Yasuo's over here, not damaging you. So if you put your ball here, it cuts the fight into two sections, basically. Because let's say their tanks walk forward to help Yasuo. That's going to happen. Their backline's useless now. So even if you're not doing any damage, you're negating damage by zoning their backline. Which effectively means you're doing damage. That makes sense how you're doing damage by not doing damage?
Yeah.
Okay. Some people look at me like, you're stupid. But like, let's say you do a net of 500 damage and those two do a net of 900. If you take away their 900 and you take away your 500, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. You've net gained 400 health for your team. Okay, so let's say you choose to ult this like you do. You hit their two tanks. Okay, useless. Okay, and hit Yasuo. Useless. Doesn't matter. Okay. So let's say you don't ult. You literally stop nothing with your ult.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say you just hold alt. Like you still don't use it. Even though now would be an okay time to use it. Like you could consider it right now. Okay. Now you still have alt. Okay, you're on Karthus. Look at this. Look at this 5-man clump. And they go in. So now your ball's here. If instead of queuing directly on here, you queue directly here, what do? You create this massive, massive, massive zone that I'm going to draw in a different color. That is impassable. Right? You create this huge zone. And you split it into two, basically. Because now, this one's going to die. And if these guys come forward, they die. Because you're going to pull them in. And like Nat said, if Karthus just runs at them, you guys win. But I don't care about Karthus. I care about you. So, do you see how now this ult is super, super impactful, whereas this ult over here literally did nothing?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's imagine you ult over here. It's more impactful than this ult, but it still does less. But honestly, I might have even triggered right here. Because I wouldn't expect this chase into a very small corridor. If you see, your ult literally covers the entirety of it because nobody's going to be in the pit. You draw the terrain. Okay. So now you do get your Q there. But see, like, imagine if you had all now. 4 people. 5 people.
Yeah.
And it's just like patience. Like recognizing what your ult will do when you use it. Because you using the ult to disengage the fight is fine. But when you use the ult, you actually don't disengage anything. You actually bring them closer to you. So great idea, poor execution. You have to actively like think about your ball like literally 24/7. And that's why when people are like, hey, I want to play Orianna. I'm silver 4. I'm like, you should probably not play Orianna when you're silver 4 because you have to keep track of 2 champions instead of 1. And it's also very easy to say all this in hindsight bias, but the more you do it like this, the more it just becomes like reactions. And like you just like know it. Which is why when people ask me, hey, when should I hold my ult versus use it? It's like, you just have to use it, and and then realize when you shouldn't have used it, and then apply that to future situations. Also, here you walk into Leona.
Same problem again.
Same
3
problem as
times this
earlier.
game already. Yeah.
Yeah, so if we just rewind it again for clarity.
Here comes the flame.
Right now your ult's up, you know they're coming. Place your ball here, sit over here, max range, literally like just be on the cusp. The second the minions walk in, like the first 3 minions, or like the first 4 minions, like once the minions are like right here, just start channeling your ult. That way these minions will start being here by then, and then you'll clip as many minions as possible. Just R, W, Q if you can, if not just E. And then you'll clear the wave, you might save the turret, you might not. But your ult's a really short cooldown. Instead, you walk into them. See? Don't walk into them.
Yeah, my turret defense strategy was definitely an issue prior to now.
Yeah.
In this game.
Also, don't waste your barrier. You're dead 100% of the time. Like 100% of the time, you're dead. So. Also, the fastest way to clear mini wave, once you E yourself, you stand here, and then you W this.
Wait. Like stand on top of them, all 3 and E? Myself?
No, okay, yeah, so you Q through, right? And then after that, you draw back with E. And then after that,
you can auto the casters.
You walk forward, and then you W.
Okay.
Because
Auto
that
the
way,
casters.
you don't even need
Afterwards.
auto casters. QE will kill.
Oh.
Or it should kill. At 11 minutes, it should definitely kill. But yeah, Q, E, W, and then Q, and then auto, if they're still alive. That's faster to clear. Oops. And you probably don't have this problem then. Of getting caught out, because you cleared faster. So, looks like you're getting caught out a lot. And then if we look again, 120 at 20. So this is more CS you would net, more experience you would net, by not being dead. Also, don't pad that far. If for whatever reason your mouse DCs or League has a bug, which does happen sometimes, you can't click, you literally int. Like literally.
Oh. Yeah.
That was disgusting.
Okay. Alright. I rewatched that like 10 times.
You're gonna rewatch it another like 3 more as I tell you how you.
No, I can literally walk through as to why that happened. All right.
Okay. No. I don't want to hear it. No. Okay,
Just watch my cursor. Just watch my cursor.
You see Syndra and Zach. Okay, at this point, you see a ball here.
I saw Zach so late.
You know for a fact that Syndra is going to stun you. So you need to immediately path here and flash that way. If you don't dodge. And then...
Okay. If you watch that in slow-mo, my cursor goes to the right spot to ult, but my Q is on cooldown.
Yeah,
Look
I
at
see
my
it.
cursor.
I see it.
When I died there, I was like, how did I just ult myself? GG.
But yeah, you have to respect it, and you just immediately go the other way. Glad to see somebody CS with E though, because a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah, I learned that from the Silver One VOD review.
Nice. Okay, so setting up these waves is what you want to do, but not when you have no pressure on Baron. So what you're doing is the right thing, just you're doing it at the wrong time.
Then when is the right time to do it?
Well, in this case, not now. Because look, Baron's up, you have no vision anywhere on the map.
Right. Here, backspace farther to before I walk down the lane. What does the map look like?
Same thing. They have mid priority, no vision on the map.
So
Syndra's
what
top.
should I do right here?
You should immediately run back mid.
Okay. And just let bot push? Or
Yep.
I guess it would get even right here, but... Oh, yeah?
It's even.
If it wasn't even, should I let it push?
Yep. You still have to be with your team here. Because you have to respect them doing Baron.
Alright.
And it's not like your team is a 1-3-1 comp. Your team comp is a fighting comp. Now, let's say you're Fiora Echo. Okay, well now, you know, you want to be in the side lane. But your team comp is Orianna, Gragas, Karthus. So, it's great to set up side waves, but when you have no pressure on Baron, and the map is unwarded, and they're ahead, this is not the time to set it up. So, when could you set it up? When you establish pressure on Baron, or you secure that they're not on Baron. Then the wave settles, and you look again, you say, okay, I want to set up a slow push, and then I'm going to go help my team mid, and then after a minute and a half, the slow push will bounce, and I'm going to collect that big wave. That's how you fix that late game macro and CS problem right there. You set up waves, that's great. Like, what you're doing is fine. You don't set it up a wave, you just push the wave. So you should consider setting up a wave versus hard pushing.
You mean like just killing the casters?
Just killing the casters, just killing 2 casters, 1 melee, killing just the cannon. Just do something to the wave that's not hard pushing it. Depending on when you want the wave to bounce. So I can't tell you when that is.
Right.
But like...
But setting up a slow push will make it so that it'll take longer to go to their turret, or it'll be in favor for us for longer.
Yes.
With a large wave.
Yes.
Okay, true.
And with that in mind, again, like I can't say, well, you should slow push here because I don't know what you're thinking.
I'm thinking, I was moving. Well, one, I want CS, but the same idea with mid priority. I've just applied to the side lanes is like similar.
Okay,
like, to make sure it's pushing before making a play on the map.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. I mean, it does,
True.
but like mid priority is like 500 times more important than bot priority or mid top priority.
Yeah, yeah. But we have people farming mid, or like my farm is super low. Like, how many minutes is it?
20.
It's like 22 or something. I've got like 120 CS.
Yeah, I know it sucks, but like you can't fix this problem now. You gain 6 CS here versus they get Baron or they ace your team.
Right.
So like, yeah, I know you want farm, and I know it sucks that you can't get farm, but look at you gaining 6 CS and them acing your team. That's let's see, about 150 gold to their 1k plus map pressure plus Baron.
Right.
Right? Like, I know it sucks. Yeah. It sucks. But you giving up the team fight or the Baron sucks even more.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why you don't do this now. But, you know, 5 minutes ago, instead of sitting mid, you let your bot go mid, and then you go push the side wave and control it the way that you want. And again, 5 minutes ago is, you know, a little out of context because I'm just saying in general. I don't remember what was happening 5 minutes ago, and if you could, but like, you set up waves when it's good for you. This scenario is not good for you to set up a wave. Is Syndra to max each second on Ori? No, it's not. You can put 2 points if you're in a losing matchup. But you should max W second. I didn't even notice that, thank you. But yeah, you don't go 3 points.
Wait. 3 points in what?
E.
Oh.
Yeah, you put 3 points. It's just 2 points.
I shouldn't do that?
No. You can put a second point in, but don't put in 3 points. Okay, your Q sucked, but you had good. Wait, she lives. Okay, never mind.
No.
Okay, so let's look at this again. Okay, so starting here, you should be Wing yourself right now. Right here. Because you have to respect the Syndra flash stun.
QE.
Yeah, Syndra's here. Her flash will put her here. And this traps you on the wall. Because she will throw it on this line. She will never not throw a flash stun on this line.
Right.
And if she throws it on this line, you are literally either going to walk into the stun and you die, or you will stay right here and you're into Yasuo. Because you're caught on this terrain.
Right.
So at this point, you have to W to respect the Syndra flash stun. She doesn't do it, but you have to respect it. Because the gain of you getting 300 damage on this guy is not worth the risk of you dying. So do that. And how do I recognize that? I just look at the tools they have, and I look at the tools that I have on top of like terrain with how strong each person is and just all these factors and just think about it like that. Then we look at your ult. Your ult is, it's fine. I wouldn't have done it personally because I would prefer to ult the wave because you don't have Karthus or Gragas. So I would have ulted, I would have put my ball down. Also, you get way too close all the time. Like, your ball range is like this. Don't be here. Again, small distance, big difference. So use your max ranges. But yeah, what I would have done is I would have put the ball here. I would have ulted the wave, and you just stop the push. But if we look, you see Thresh pulls. And Thresh has a pattern of pull. You know, it's not like a variable pull. It's the same pull every time. So make sure you're queuing in the right spot.
Yeah, that last... I thought he was going to connect it.
Also, if you look, you time Zhonya's really poorly. It's off by like a whole half second. You can tell Zhonya's when it's going to come off based on the sound.
Oh.
So if you listen to Zhonya's, you will know when it's going to come off. And then that's obviously learning your travel times to match up to it and distances. Because again, like, what if she lives there? Or like, Draven picked up the kill, but if she lives there because you messed up, that's something that you can fix. Okay, so it's your job to kill that ward, but it's not your job to die to Baron.
Yeah, I didn't. I could not believe I took
I know.
aggro there.
Well, you're closest.
Wait, look how close Draven is. I guess I walked too close to the Baron right there.
Wait, what do you mean? Look how close. What do you mean?
I know, but when I first walked in.
Wait. Are you inting me? You're trolling me. Okay, look. I see how close
Right
Draven
here.
is.
Look how close he is.
Okay, but now
he
look.
moves back out.
But yeah, so now look.
Either.
You know he's gonna chase his axes. So now look at the
yeah.
distance. You're like
Just-
literally like
Yeah,
you're.
I guess I'm like brain dead.
It's like you have a fetish for its claw or something. Like, you're literally standing on it.
Oh my god.
So just clear the ward later. Don't lose all your health for it. Because now you can't contribute meaningfully. Also, at this point, Scuttle Crab is up. I mean, not Scuttle Crab. Honey Fruit is up. So instead of just dancing right here, just let's go hit this, because then you can contribute in a more meaningful way. But good job skirting. Like, this is great, being on the outside. But there's like just time where we're just like sitting in this area. And in that time, just like take again 3 more steps and auto the honey fruit. Especially once your stuff's on cooldown. Oh, how you die? Oh. Okay, so again, respect terrain. You absolutely have to respect the terrain. Because there's this. You're stuck in this funnel. You cannot get out of this funnel. So we look at the funnel. We see Zaya paths towards you. And once she passes towards you, you should be looking the other way. And you know, you do, it's just too late. So just try to see those things sooner. Because if you don't die there, Carlos doesn't die there. Also, good build, but like, if you're sitting on 3k gold and it's 25 minutes, you should probably have spent your gold earlier. But then also, don't buy a hunting guys, most likely.
What should I have bought?
Now you would buy Ludens. Because a lot of the reason you build hunting guys is the magic pen.
Yeah.
And you have merc treads. And it's 25 minutes. That flat pen does nothing against their team anymore. Look at their team.
Wait, at what point does magic pen become not as useful?
Well, you start with 30 base and you go up by 0.5 per level. Right?
Okay, so late game you should like avoid.
Flat pen, yeah. Like you don't want to you want to buy Leandries early, because if somebody has 30 magic resist, this 15 brings them down to, well, 15. If somebody has 60 magic resist, well, this brings them down to 45. Like, these are literally the same thing. Like, to me, like, that's the same thing.
Right.
But this is not the same thing, because the way resist works, it's on a curve. So if you look at the value of resistance, it's like this. It starts like this, and it goes like this.
Now, they have Leona, Zach with Aegis and Spirit Visage and Hex Drinker on Yasuo, and Syndra's looking to be building a Banshees.
Yeah.
I should be building Ludens over Rabadon's Deathcap.
Ludens or Rabadons. Sorry. What I meant by that was,
Why did you pick Ludens?
This is a game in which you would get Ludens over hunting guys. So I would be getting Rabadons at this point. Sorry, that was unclear. But as a last item or a item after Rabadons, you would be getting Ludens instead of hunting guys, because you want the hunting guys earlier. Because that is built into its power as well. Like, yeah, you know, you get the shred, but like, the shred's only on these two, and these two don't matter. Like, they do, but like, you have Karthus, who's going to be shredding them. You have Draven, who's going to be hitting them as well. So you don't need the shred. Now, if your team comp is like Nautilus top, or sorry, not like Nautilus top with Gragas jungle. Well, okay, now you might need the shred, because you're not going to be like hitting them as hard. But you have a Karthus, like, he's doing damage as well. But yeah, at this point, since you don't already have the flat pen, I would be looking towards now the build of, this is going to be Ludens, Rabadons is what I mean, but like,
And then Ludens.
yeah, and then Rabadons for this item. Because if you see like, okay, this is 25, this is like 30, and this is like 60, basically a ton. So you're not like you're not gonna do anything here. He has this item, Phantom Dancer, which is 10% damage if he hits you, and then he has this one, which is like 30 again. I think I honestly don't know Managers' numbers on the defensive items that aren't APs because I don't build them often.
And he has merch shreds.
And he, oh yeah, and he has merch shreds. Jesus. And then you will do true damage to her basically, or not true damage, but like you'll do a ton to her. But like, how do you hit Zaya? You shouldn't be really.
Lucky.
Yeah. And like you're not gonna do damage to her either. So it's like, you want more max AP, larger shields, more damage because you're going to be going for Void Staff instead. Pretty much as like a general rule, is if you're getting Merc Treads, like you did, you absolutely need a Void Staff like second item or third item.
Yeah, I usually.
Like one, like if you don't get a second item, you 100% of the time need a third item because you don't have the Sork Pen, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, Sork plus Guys is like super strong because this is 30 pen, and then you have like 44-ish, maybe it's like 42, I don't remember, 42 from your Runes and Masteries, which this, either of these, is essentially true damage on this target, and ideally this target as well in the mid game. And it essentially forces her to buy this no magic, because if she doesn't, you're doing true damage to her. And if she buys this, well, now she has -1 inventory slot, so pink wards become harder to buy, which then means you have more control over the map.
Right.
So it's like all these small things that you just like learn, and then it just becomes like really big things that add up, that are kind of invisible power. But yeah, try not to have 3k gold. Spend it earlier. Also, you should probably swap your trinket.
Which one would you swap to? Scanner?
I would be blue, because I have an innate bias for blue trinket.
Oh. And they have 2 hard engages with good range.
Yep. I think especially this game though, blue is good against Zac because you get deeper vision. And how do you counter Zac? Deeper vision. So to me, that one's like especially good. Also, you really need cleanse in this game. Because you see how you just get like shafted?
Yeah.
Like, I know you say you don't use it efficiently, but the only way you start to use it efficiently is by taking it. Because I felt that same way where I don't use it efficiently either. But, you know, when you're playing against Elise every game, you have to learn to take cleanse.
It feels like with Leona, you like cleanse one thing and she'll immediately just like double stun you with like EQ or something, even if you cleanse the R.
But you get 65% tenacity.
Oh, plus merc treads.
Plus merch threats. So you're effectively stunned for 0.3 seconds.
Not long.
Seems pretty good to me. But also, if you look at their team comp, like, you can cleanse the knock-up, which cucks Yasuo.
You can cleanse the knockup.
Yeah, you can cleanse the slow. You can cleanse her stun. And you can cleanse his knock-up. You can cleanse her root.
Yeah.
You can cleanse this. Like, literally, you can cleanse their entire team. And Syndra alone, like, she pressures you enough that cleanse is viable, because if she QEs you from max range and you immediately cleanse, you just walk away from her. So it forces her to get rid of her range advantage, because the range advantage on Syndra Ori is it's like, this is Ori's circle. What happens is, like, this is like Syndra circle. It's like not much bigger. I know that looks kind of bigger, but like let's use like this line, like this. Like, that's not that much bigger. But if you take cleanse, you force her to overlap your circles like this. Because like I said, if she does this for max range, you literally just cleanse and walk away from her. Because she's not in range to Q you, W, or alt you. Because of the way Syndra's ranges work.
True.
Not always Vask. That's not necessarily the case.
Well, if I have Murktread's barrier, it'll be very difficult for her to ever one-shot me in lane. But
yeah,
they have a lot of
but
CC
Leona
for us this game.
can one-shot you.
Yeah, Leona's already one-shotted me like 6 times.
And even let's talk about before you get Murktreads. Like, I understand it's a Zac and he's not super high pressure, but like, if you dodge a Cinder Stun, you might be able to flash out of Zac alt or E. You know, like, cleanse is just so good. But yeah, good point, Vast. Thank you for bringing that up for me to clarify. I mean, it's like some games I've considered building QSS and cleanse, which is like ridiculous. But like, in a team comp like this, and if I'm getting focused by CC, honestly, I would consider it. I'm not saying it's the best, but like, guess how much damage you do if you're dead?
None.
0. And the actual counter argument to that is position better. But like, in some games, you know, not to say that you couldn't position better, but it's like, it's difficult to sometimes. So I can understand that. So you're super far up. Again, use your max range. You drop your ball. Okay, right here, you should be dead. Look at your position. Right here, you're dead. Why are you here? What do you get by doing this?
And she's Veil. Sacrifice my life.
Okay, yeah, so you trade your entire health bar for her Banshee's Veil. Seems like a worthwhile trade to me. But no, seriously, this has been like a consistent issue that you've done. Is like, you're not using Ori's range.
I could have just cleared the wave here with ult if it did push hard, especially because Karthus is low and.
Yeah, so again, just like place your ball here, from all the way over here. Don't be like here and here. Like, you see how different these two are?
Yeah.
Again, not much space, big difference. And again, like, you drop this ball, so this ball doesn't even matter. But yeah, be cognizant of your ranges. Because you should be dead right now, like, dead. 100% dead. Okay. So this is where you make your mistake.
Yeah, horrible awareness here.
Right here. You can, if you look at the map, you know they're coming to you. They're already in your jungle.
Yeah, I didn't look at the map.
Again, you're pinched in this. Okay, you see this? You're pinched. Your only option is to go like this. And I guess you can go like this. But you can't walk this way. This is a no. Because how do you lose this fight? Just answer that question to me right now. How do you lose this fight?
The enemy team comes and helps Yasuo.
Okay, how else do you lose the fight? There's 2 ways you lose this fight. Actually, there's only one way you lose this fight. How do you lose this fight? No hindsight bias. If you look at the scenario right now, look at everything.
Yasuo ults me, but I don't think he can kill me. With Gragas.
So if Yasuo ults you,
I have my full kit CDs up.
But you have no barrier.
I know, but he doesn't have that much damage. Plus hard CC from Gragas.
But you don't have armor, and he has armor pen.
Okay, true.
And he's Yasuo. He's going to crit you every hit. You're a lot more fragile than you think.
Rip.
But yeah, the only way you lose this is if you get hit by Yasuo Q and you get ulted. The only way. And look, if you just wait and let your Gragas E, you don't get hit by this. You don't get chain CC'd. And now, at this point, we know their team's coming. You should know that their team's coming. You said you didn't look at the map, but you need to know that their team's coming. So you need to walk immediately upwards in this direction. Because if you walk here, you're dead. If you walk here, you're dead. If you walk here, you're running into their jungle. This is the only viable option. Or I guess the best viable option. Because from here, once you're here, you can reassess. Okay, can I go here? Can I go here? And these are just things, like I said, you need to think about. Like, I know it's hard at first, but like, once you start thinking about it, it's like, it just becomes second nature. And yeah, like Nat said, you can 100% die.
Yeah, incoming play. Yeah, when I watched earlier, there was no way they could have rotated in time. So, yeah.
Oh, this is a big card, this Alta. Oh, never mind. It's not as big as I thought. Oh, card, this sucks. You could have killed them. Could have killed all of them. Okay, let's look at that. We see Zach.
Trying to get
Okay, so we see Zach, you ult him away from you, which is cool. But ulting him towards you there is better because Zach can't kill you alone. Zaya's not there, Syndra's based. So this is one of those cases where it's like, hey, ulting Zach into me is good. Okay, so something to consider for the future. It doesn't hurt you here. But again, this is the stuff that you can improve on, okay? So your ball's here right now. You should effectively be winning this fight. Your ball hitting Zach here doesn't matter. If you put, well, it does matter, but it doesn't matter as much as if you put your ball here. If you put your ball here, you zone Syndra off because you threaten a QW. And she doesn't necessarily know that your R is on cooldown. But let's say she does. You still threaten this QW. And you doing 40% of Syndra's health is way more impactful than you doing like 10% of Zach's every 2 seconds.
yeah.
So just consider in the future zoning the carries and looking to hit them instead. Because again, like you hitting Zach, it matters, but you can still improve on this play, I think, by putting your ball here instead. Because if your ball's, like, it might pass through Zach on the way anyway. And if it does, bonus points. Yeah, like, see, it would pass through Zach. You see right there?
Yeah.
Before I pause it? So it actually passes through Zach, does damage, and zones them. The more important characters. Okay, I'm pretty sure you can kill Syndra right here. So Syndra makes the same mistake that you do, where she steps up way too far.
Where she what?
Where she steps up way too far. Yeah. So your ball right now, it's right here. For anybody that can't see it, it's right here on Thresh. Okay. So if you Q here, as she's walking forward, it stops her from going forward, or she keeps going forward and she dies. Or, if you E to U, and then Q this way, it does that same exact thing. Just slightly longer. Actually, it's probably faster to do it E to Q. Because, if you look at this triangle, this Q travel time is probably going to be longer than this EQ travel time. Because of the way the triangle works. Do you get that or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Because E is significantly faster. So, I think you can punish Syndra for this. Again, I don't think it punishes you. I didn't play it through all the way. But I think you can definitely look to take advantage of things like that. Okay, so does you flashing forward and killing Syndra matter? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Does it matter if I kill Syndra here? Yes. Does it matter if I trade 1 for 1? Or rather, is it good if I trade 1 for 1? No. Because we're ahead, we won the fight already, we have map pressure, and I'm trading my flash. And how is the only way you guys lose this fight? Again. You have Thresh and Gragas alive. Versus Syndra and Xayah. The only way you guys lose this fight is if you die.
Yeah.
Again, you guys don't lose the fight, but these are the things to improve on again. Like, she could have killed both of them there.
The Zhonya's buy wasn't good either. But I mean, you can see I was contemplating it literally in game.
I think the
There for,
Zhonya's
like,
buy
10
is
seconds.
it's okay.
Yeah, it's all right, but in the last team fight, I don't even use it. So it's yeah.
But yeah, see, so you don't even upgrade your Leandries yet, so that mask is useless. That is 1,500 gold right there, that's useless. Because you don't get AP from it. Like, you do, but, like, you don't.
Yeah.
You really buy it for the magic pen. Okay, so right now your ball should not be there. You have 2 ball options. Your ball should be right here, invisible, or right here. This is cheese. You try to aim for a quick Q here and R. This is the safer one where you just try to cut off this area.
Yeah, the one with the invis is that we have no vision over the side of the wall because they're pink board.
Do you need vision here? Does this vision matter?
I felt it did because Zach could engage from over there. Leona try to ult like Draven or myself from like over the wall.
Yeah, but if you're here, you're in E range this way. So your vision is useless. Because if you see Zach here versus seeing Zach here, it's the same thing.
Huh.
Right? Or am I crazy?
Yeah.
Or like Leona even. Like Leona's is instant, so that one's I guess a better example. But if you're here, Yasuo can't walk here, Syndra can't walk here, Xayah can't walk here. I'm just saying if you're zoning, this spot is better, I think.
What would you be doing in this situation? Where would you have your ball? Where would you be positioned around Baron?
The way I would probably be is I would probably have my ball here. And then I would
Like
probably
where?
be like, I drew it. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, then I would probably be like here. In a circle.
Okay.
Because this same ball is effectively this ball. Right? It still cuts off the same area. It still chokes.
Yeah. But your positioning is safer.
But I'm safer from this area. Why can't I draw it? But I'm still safe from here, right? Like, so that's where I would be positioned. I think, if I analyze the situation correctly in real time. If I don't, then I don't. But I think that's a better position to be in. Yeah, so, okay. Because your ball is there, and you stay so close, like, once you see Leona, you have to back away. You wait for, like, a whole second. Right, like, you see Leona. You don't have any more value by your ball being here, because you know where all their characters are. And you can get engaged on. Like, what if that's warded? What if she just blindly E's? And, like, right now, what if she ults you? How do you lose this fight right now?
I die.
You die.
Yeah.
Okay, and like, this misses, but, like, not by much. And, like, what if she chose to ult you there instead? You probably die. Okay, you shouldn't be first. And you should be not here, but you should be in mid lane right now. You should be in this area, looking mid to get mid priority.
Right.
Because you walking here gets you nothing. You walking to get mid priority gets you mid priority, which is really big. Because then your team can just run down mid and take their tier 2 and force them to react to you. Or if they keep, like, if you see they're not moving from Baron while you start walking over, well, then you don't obviously commit to the tier 2 and then you can fight them. Again, you're super close to Leona. Okay. I think that I don't think you understand the concept of zoning with ball enough to use it. Because at this point, I'm like, yes. Yes! Like, I'm getting a massive, like, I'm so excited right now.
Put the ball in between their whole team.
Yeah, let me change colors. Because ball's right here. I'm like, yes, you guys are all clumping up, focusing my support. Yes! Look at this. My Grog is over the wall. Oh, this is great. Everything's going awesome right now. Because if you put your ball right here, you are going to hit 3 members. Instead of leaving your ball right here. You hitting Leona doesn't matter. You're going to do no damage to her anyway. You threatening their backline right here does so much.
So I should not have shielded Thresh there and instead zoned them or
Oh, no,
attempted to.
you shield Thresh. You shield Thresh, then you put your ball over here.
Oh yeah. But Q range is like kind of short.
No, you're in Q range.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
And I think the ball's about to move somewhere close to there. Not perfectly.
I mean, it takes a long time. Right? Like, that doesn't seem like a long time, but that's a really long time. Like, right here. You can Q to here. That's your Q range.
Yeah, that would have been a good spot.
Okay. So now if we... I mean, that spot's not perfect, but it's better than where it is now. Okay, but let's keep going. Okay, now you can Q here. Which, okay, now it's significantly better. And, it, that was literally a fraction of a second that I unpaused the game. Literally a fraction of a second. But what I'm doing right now is I'm holding Shift Q, and I'm using range indicators. Because the second my ball gets right here, I'm super excited. I want to put my ball there the second that I can. So I'm using range indicators right now to get perfect range. And you know that I know Orianna's range. But guess what? I want it to be exactly when I can. So I'm going to range indicate this. Because having my ball here has so much impact on this fight. Because imagine, watch the fight, and imagine that your ball's right there. Okay, so let's move it back. You see what they can do right now? Nothing. See how you can land a 3-man ult?
Yeah.
Okay. If your ball's just zoning there, Yasuo doesn't, like, just get free reign and, like, just walk forward. And if you hold your ult, or use it earlier when it's positioned properly, you don't just hit Zac with your ult. Because this choke, like, you should be, like, just so excited to fight right here. Because, like, if I'm gonna fight right here with Karthus and Orianna and, like, Draven, kinda, I'm like, yes, look at this combo. This is insane. Because if you look at the architecture of the battlefield right now, this is it. You have a snake, you cut this, and you cut this. Do you see how ballable all this is?
Yeah.
Ball here, ball here, ball here, ball here. Okay, so where was the fight? Where does it matter the most? Well, right here in this fight. But this is like the mental map you should have laid out in your head as this is going to it. And I know, again, like, it's so much to think about. But you only start thinking about this stuff if you look at it like this. Because otherwise, you're just like, oh, okay, I need to fight Leona because Leona's fighting. Well, it's like, yeah, but you can do better. So that's probably the end of the game, right?
Yeah. We wipe here and die, and GG.
Okay. So, if we look at your numbers again, it is 35 minutes. So let me go back to 30 minutes. And I'll
like,
look at this.
What is that? 174 CS or something?
Yeah, so you gain like 10 CS in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally. Okay, so it's like
Yeah.
it's like
Horrid.
it's like 160. Okay.
If you had gone back, like, at what points should I have gone to get CS instead of going somewhere else?
Well, it's really hard to say that because if you're
Yeah,
dead,
okay.
you can't go get CS.
Right.
Right? So like when you die on bottom lane, that's time you could be getting CS. When you die protecting mid lane, like that's time you could be getting CS. Like when you die to this, like, protect this turret, like right here.
Right.
Like, it may not seem like a lot, but guess what? You die, that's a 30-second death timer. That's 30-second walking to base. Guess what? This is a minute. You see, you just missed like 10, 15 CS off this. You see that? Like, you see how important this is?
Yeah.
And this is just like one death, right? So let's say you have pressure. Let's say you don't die here. Well, now you can walk bottom and then get bot priority. And now you have that 15 CS and you have bottom priority. And then you force them to respond, and then now it's not them controlling the game, you're at least having an impact on the game. So like when you're dead, you're controlling none of the map. And that's a big issue. Because then they get wave priority, they can clean up your waves, they can get vision priority, they can do whatever they want on the map because you're down. So I don't think I can go through this game and say this is a point you should be getting CS because you're literally dead for like all of the CS points. But in general, if I look through it really quickly, because like again, telling you a specific time to get a CS won't benefit you.
Just not die.
Don't die, one. But like, look, when are you on the side wave? I don't see you on the side wave. Okay, you're on the side wave, but it's because you're fighting. Are you on the side wave? Yeah, you're dead. Okay. Let's look again. Nope, you're not on the side wave. Okay, you're still not on the side wave. You're fighting. Okay, you're still not at the side wave. Why are you not at the side wave? Okay, you're still not, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you're just running mid. You're still not at the side wave.
Right.
And I could go through the rest of it, and you still won't be at the side wave. You're literally fighting 24/7. And the reason you're fighting 24/7 is because you're caught. You're not warding. You don't have wave control. And that's like, it's like a circular point. Why don't you have wave control? Because you're fighting. Why are you fighting? Because you don't have waves to control. They just like influence each other. See how that works? Okay, so now you're at the side wave at 22 minutes. This is the first time you've touched the side wave, but it's at the wrong time because now they have Baron pressure.
Right.
See how that's an issue? I don't think I ever saw you go top lane, actually. Now that I'm actively looking at it.
No.
Okay. So what I want you to do is go back into my VOD today, or literally watch any of my VODs. You'll see as soon as I'm ahead in mid lane, I go to a side wave. Do you know why?
To get priority in a different lane.
Yeah, well, that's part of it. So if you go to a side wave, you're soaking solo experience. You're controlling a side wave. Because not everybody can control a side wave, but everybody can get mid priority or clear a wave. If you're stronger, then you can 1v1 and you might draw pressure 1v2. So now if there's 1v2, then you get vision on top side. Somebody gets vision, or top side can push, or your jungler doesn't have to come down. Instead, he goes and takes Rift Herald, or he might take their jungle camp, or whatever. But you drawing pressure is big. What else can you do? Okay, well, you set up the pushes, which is controlling the side waves. So you set up a push. What happens? In a minute and a half, it comes back. And now it's a 15 creep wave at you. So now you collect all 15 creeps and more experience. You see how all these things just compile and compile and compile? So I don't even think it's a good idea to talk about the side waves in this game because again, you're fighting 24/7 because you never look at the side wave. But if you do look at my VODs, like I said, or just even don't even look at the VODs, just when I'm streaming, pay attention to when I'm in mid lane versus when I'm in the side wave. Because if I'm like Lucian, literally the second I win lane phase and we get their turret, we get dragon or whatever, I'm out. I'm peace. I gank bottom, get their bot turret, and then I'm immediately in that bottom lane. Because I want my bottom lane in the safer mid lane, which is a shorter lane, which it's safer for that reason. And I'm setting up sideways. I'm soaking solo experience because your mid lane, your bottom lane will then create priority in mid lane because it's a 2v1 lane, so they're going to have guaranteed priority. And then your support can ward around the map properly because he or she is based out of the mid lane, not the side lane. And I'm collecting all the experience and setting up the ways that I want them to be. So it's it's just a win-win-win. But you haven't done that yet, and I don't think you did in the last VOD review either.
No.
But yeah, pay attention to that next time. Watch when I'm in a side wave versus when I'm not. Because you do it once, like I said, at 22 minutes. And that's good to do. That is the right thing to do, just not at that time. And then macro, there was a macro in this game. This game was literally fighting 24/7. So if you have specific macro questions, I will answer them.
No.
But there isn't macro game in this play, or this macro play in this game.
Okay, that solves that question.
I just wanted to make sure that I talked about the 2 points that I wrote in the top left because those are specifically what you wanted to talk about.
The reason I brought up the macro questions because I felt like I didn't notice anything to do here besides contest Baron, and that was probably because of what you just said, that there was no macro play.
Yeah, so okay, you need to look at every single minion as an objective. Because it is. Because if you have one more minion in your bottom lane, guess what? Your bottom lane now becomes an objective for them. Because they have to answer that wave at some point. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so answering that bottom wave, that is an objective to you. You should know that's an objective. Right now, look at top wave. Can you tell that's going to be pushing to you? Look at mid lane. Look at bottom lane. All three of the lanes are pushing. What are you doing here?
Right.
You see, you could be answering the sideways. Okay, so if I go back to another fight. Another fight that literally doesn't matter. Let me go to one. Okay, so this is a Baron fight, so we'll call that one important. Right here. Why do you die here? Let's see. Oh yeah, this fight. Look at the side waves. They're pushed to you again. Instead of doing whatever the hell's going on here, you could be answering side waves, getting mid priority, collecting CS. See, you see it all? Like,
Yeah.
literally, I think about every single minion in the game when I'm playing. When I'm playing competitive. Solo queue, I slack off a little bit, but like, when I'm playing like for like 100% serious, like when I'm doing those playthroughs where I'm like literally commenting on everything I'm doing, I'm thinking about every single minion. Can I defend this minion? Yes, no. Okay, I'm gonna defend this minion. Can I set up a slow push? Yes, no. Okay, I'm gonna go set up a slow push. And the criterion for setting up a slow push is, can I set up a slow push safely? Will they get anything off the slow push? So if I go bottom at 22 minutes when we have no pressure on the map and they're ahead and they have vision control, doesn't matter. Yes, me being bottom matters a lot. I'm not gonna go bottom. That's what I'm asking myself before I'm doing that. I don't think you asked yourself that question, right? You just probably walked bottom because you saw some creeps.
Yeah, and I wanted to push against the other way.
Yeah.
Since we wouldn't be down there for a while.
So it's great that you want to create the push, but you need to think, let's say I create this push and it goes the worst possible. What do they get? Well, they get Baron and they ace my team. Is the risk of them taking Baron and acing my team worth getting 6 creeps and a push? No, because if they ace your team and take Baron, they're going to clear your push anyway. And let's say you get the turret. Okay, you trade a turret for Baron. And 4 kills. Which then they're going to come make a counterplay of 2 turrets and more kills. So, it's a long way to say, think about the game. Like, you should be thinking about every single thing you're doing, and that's how you develop macro play. That is how you, like, get those CS things because... CS advantages, because you have to think about, if I do this, what happens? Can I go farm? Yes or no? Because farming is great, but farming when your team needs you is not great. Yeah. Because like who's gonna come help you at the end of the day? The creeps or your team? The answer is neither. Neither are gonna help you, but hopefully your team. Okay, so do you have any other questions or like anything I didn't cover or something you wish I covered or?
No more questions.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna end the recording here.